Hello everyone, this is Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we barely scraped our way into tier 39, and you might be wondering how is that possible. We have Peony bonus, so we're scoring plus 220 on offense, and we even have Bramamon bonus, so the most we can lose if we don't use Sophis, of course, as well, is 30 lift for defense loss. So what in the world happened? Now, of course, anyone who's been here long enough will know that's because we goofed on offense. Not a surprise. Especially when we're still playing it. Maybe we should try playing not brain dead. Maybe that would be a great strategy for actually doing well. But decided to give Wind Sweep to Legendary Female Byleth. Try that out. I don't really know how much it affected people's choices of teams, but it's there.
Don't get
Gonna
caught.
start out here with Duo Nita just obliterating Bramamon. I actually screwed up my trap placements, and so we do fix it eventually, but one thing we didn't fix till basically the end of the season was the fact that apparently I didn't lock my defense team. So you'll notice these skills change later in the replays. But back to offense. I already knew we were off to an interesting season when early in the season I actually goofed and
leave this to me.
misstepped, forcing me to sack a unit with, I think it was, I accidentally pivoted Ash up, and so it was against Legendary Sheeta.
What a
And
letdown.
she had a 2 cooldown. Special at 2 cooldown, she was doubling because I couldn't get 3 allies within... What was it, 3 allies? Or is it 3 allies within 3 spaces? Yeah, of Ash. Couldn't do that because of that mistap, so we ended up having to sack Ash. Unfortunate. Minus 20 lift. And then there was another match, I believe, where we ended up, we only screwed up on 3 matches this week. That is a lot of matches. We only get 8 matches this season, unless we goof like this season. And as you can see here, our skill sets have changed a little bit. 10 out of 10. But the second match we goofed on was the most important one, because that's the one we completely lost. It was all because we completely overlooked somehow that the Happy we were baiting had rally attack. So our initial plan was to bait out their, what's her name, Happy and Duo Sigurd with air. 1 round KO them both. Feels like they have no other options. They can't rally.
I'll defeat you.
Can't dance. There's no rallies going on, and so we made that bait, and of course that didn't happen. Happy baited Duo Sigurd. Of course, Duo Sigurd's not going back into air. So because of Happy's attack res far trace, we moved all the way to the right side of the map, and Duo Sigurd danced, and she ended up sniping down Armilla. And that was essentially super bad for us because the rest of the team was, I believe, Triandra, Bramamon, Brave Seliph, Dual Crom, and Not. So I was forced to use Nino to 1 round KO the Brave Seliph. I had set it up all so that after that initial turn of shenanigans, that Brave Seliph would be 2 spaces away from Nino so that she could just 1 round KO without having to move, because his miracle doesn't proc if no one moves. And then I had isolated their Duo Crom, I believe, to make sure that he could not use the Change Fate to move us over. And the following turn, because our Triandra was in 7th slot, I made sure that Milla was going to isolate her, so there'd be no dancing shenanigans. And so everything was going to be fine, except for the part where we completely missed the rally. I literally checked for rallies everywhere else. There was a rally on Bramamon, there was a rally on Not, I believe. Wait, it was not the 7th slot? I don't remember. I'm now mixing up multiple matches where people put either a dancer or not in 7th slot, so one of the two. Yeah, unfortunate. That's what happened. I figured that I had to use sack my Ash to take out dual Crom. So basically I took out dual Crom with Ash, and then the enemy phase, there's really nothing we could do. All of our units but Air and Peony got nuked. And so theoretically, in an isolated scenario where I could pick off each unit one by one, I would be able to win, but the problem is I couldn't do that because they're all targeting at my units at the same time, so at that point there was nothing we could do. Air could not enemy phase everything, so because at that point, not enough buffs going around, so that's unfortunate, but what can you do about it? And then during our last match of the season, I was just being nice. I already knew before going into the match that I had, spoilers, already won my defense match for the remaining 20 hours of the season. So I was like, okay, we can just go ahead and be nice, sack a unit,
I wish you
and
luck.
call it a day. I also completely forgot to move around my ornaments to
study your
prevent this
technique.
from happening, where someone can just go in turn one with a melee unit. But so be it, they're able to capitalize on it, which is the most important part. But we just ended up sacking a unit for the heck of it to be nice,
I wish you
and
luck.
so that, as you see, still puts us in tier 39, as long as I didn't actually
I'll
miscalculate
study your
right there.
technique.
During that time, of course, that we're actually not, or as long as I calculated correctly that we're still going to be under lift loss protection for the rest of the season, we shouldn't need to worry about anything here. But well played by our opponent here.
I
Nothing
wish you
mind-blowing.
luck.
Some Rail Guards going to need a few attacks to take out
I'll study your
our
technique.
legendary Crom, of course, 4 attacks in total. And, well, there's
I
not much
wish you
Seliph
luck.
can do. So, that's unfortunate for him. And, well, seems about right. Looks like, not sure, it looks like they're gonna use Master. I guess they're gonna use Air. That works, he's just gonna get the special up. And he can't
A merciful death.
Ignis because of Air's guard on the counter. So, ripperonis to us. I do have to say though, the only reason we did so quote-unquote well on offense, aka winning all of our other matches, was strictly because of no follow-up seal. It's too good right now in a meta where units are spamming guaranteed follow-ups and preventing follow-up attacks with impact or just built into their weapon as an effect. For example, at Ascend to the Doom that we ran into, or I don't think we saw any Brave Hectors this season. I'm kind of surprised, but that's the luck of the draw, I suppose. But units like Bramamon, Dual Crom, since we had no follow-up seal, the first thing I could actually think of as an idea is, can Nino face tank? Because normally that's not an option, because we pretty much never one-shot Bramamon. Especially when he's bonus and has low attack res, there's no way in heck we're one-shotting him. So normally he's going to attack us twice, and if he's in a harmonized Catria team, which he was in the second to last match we had, I believe. It was a pretty interesting match nonetheless. Actually, no, that was the third to last match. I don't know.
Leave this to me.
But we can't handle Bramamon squatting us and proccing a special, because the main thing there is that we don't have cadence support for guard, so he can proc his special when he's squatting us. So that's not great. Up to a 4 cooldown special, which of course we all know that's gonna hurt a lot. Any reasonable 4 cooldown special or 3 cooldown special is gonna hurt us way too much. So, at the end of the day, No follow-up seal, super hard carrying this week. Really cannot understate that. But here, unfortunately, because of our AI setup here and breakable walls, not able to really capitalize on anything, so no snipe downs, and our opponent smartly does not break the cakes on the right side of the map to keep themselves shielded somewhat, otherwise things would have turned out differently. But here, they end up surrendering, because Brave Self doesn't have reposition or anything to get Peony out of the way. I'm gonna be real though, I could totally see Self missing this kill. He doesn't miss the kill here, thankfully. But barely, I might say. I believe he does 28 times 2 or something. Not even close. This was at 71, 57. Actually, no, it's a little better than that. So I forgot Divine Tear Free actually gets 10 attack, 10 out of 10. But at this point, I think we're set in stone in the future. We are trying permanently use no follow-up seal. I don't think I can ever replace Vantage, because Vantage absolutely insane in this, I believe, the second to last match of the season. Holy cow, that was it. It didn't actually do anything in the last match for the most part, but the potential of what it could have done was enough for me to say, yeah, I think we're sticking with Vantage in our B slot. Because we're up a team of Duo Chrom, Duo Sigurd, Duo Chrom, Bramamon, Duo Dorothea, or Harmonized Dorothea, Triandra, Sothis, Brave Self, and Brave Lynn, running Power Sweet Bow. So there was one possible variation I could have set up, I ended up not doing it, but I did some ridiculous AI manipulation. So essentially, I baited with Nino, broke their healing tower to get the Bolt Tower chip damage, so Brave Self's at 2 HP, aka his miracle doesn't exist anymore. And we had Brave Lynn, because her attack was so low, we had her attack what's his name? Caden instead of Nino. And so the problem was Brave Lynn was in Wings of Mercy range, and I couldn't have literally no one on my team to bait Duo or Harmonized Dorothea because she had too low attack, even Nilla, despite having Dark Shrine and literally no buffs on her. Or Dark Shrine debuffs on her, and literally no buffs from allies on her. Besides air, the problem was Sparkling Boost. Also was buffing Nilla. So even though she was getting doubled, she was taking, I believe, it was either 1 times 2 or something. Basically not enough damage to, well, of course, do Dorothea's actually dance, but I calced out that Peony could actually survive Brave Lynn, which was like pretty surprising. All because of Caden, of course, cheesing out extra speed on her, and I think she was actually avoiding the doubles still, even without his help, but the extra bulk and stuff was definitely helpful, so she was able to survive Brave Lynn. But the key thing I calced out was that between all the units, only Duo Chrom and Brave Lynn, of course, could survive their combat. Duo Chrom is getting exact lethal by Nino.
This path must open.
An exact 3-shot, I should say, if he were to get Dance. He didn't get Dance because of what we set up. But if he did get Dance after missing the kill on Nino, he would have been Vantage killed for exact. It was pretty insane. And, well, the rest is history. We ended up full clearing their defense. Absolutely insane, but in the world where Nino actually, Duochrome actually got danced, Nino would have been able to take out Duochrome, Brave Seliph, and Triandra thanks to Vantage. Because otherwise, without Vantage, there's no way in heck we're tanking Duochrome and then Brave Seliph. That's not happening. I think the other thing that helped as well was Brave Seliph could only move 3 spaces, so Nino could actually face tank one of his shots at full HP. This is definitely why we could make such a play. But, ooh boy, that was definitely a match. Those kind of matches are the ones where the daily damage calcs and understanding the AI really pay off, because I honestly don't know if we did anything more generic, if we could get away with it. Bolt Tower definitely coming in clutch this season as well, and of course, cannot deny that. Bolt Tower is still broken. Panic Manner bonus was even more broken, because we definitely flipped a ton of field buffs. For example, on Brave Seliph, so he had less attack and speed. Of course, he still neutralizes the panic buffs, but he doesn't get the extra +6 attack and speed from those field buffs. He just neutralizes out as if he didn't have any field buffs at all, which definitely helps out when you're trying to face tank him with a low defense speed Kappa. I mean, technically speaking, your defense is still pretty low, but if we ever get another gatekeeper, we will actually get some defense on Nino, which is nice. Up to +9 more with enemy phase, which is a pretty big deal in a ton of matchups. So looking forward to that if we ever get there. Fortunately for us though, we can still get away with Nino shenanigans, even though we don't have it yet. But going back to the Nino shenanigans on that match, yeah. The fact that with no follow-up seal, she can actually stand up to Duochrome now is pretty insane. You can't survive a Deadeye from max attack Duochrome. He doesn't even need max attack to Deadeye. I mean, he's getting there, and there is going to be a point where we could feasibly contend to face tank a lot of Duochrome's Deadeyes, you know, even with low attack defense, even against low attack defense, which sounds pretty absurd. Memes about memes, man. But the one thing that still stands, and I still have absolutely no idea what we're gonna do about it, but I don't know what C slot to chuck on Nino, because currently we're using Attack Smoke, which most of the time does not come into play ever. It just doesn't. So I don't know what we want for a C slot. I was thinking, of course, the most logical thing if we want to keep Attack Smoke is upgrade to Attack Smoke 4. But with no follow-up, that generally feels redundant. It's not redundant against units that are faster than us, that don't have no follow-up. But I feel like in general, not particularly great. It also does give us field buffs after we attack, which is can be a pro, can be a con. If we're up against Panic, it's not a pro. if we're trying to get more buffs, if she started out, for example, by herself maybe with field buffs, and for example, I don't know, say Ash is out of range or something to pivot on Nino to give her +6 defense buff, we could get it that way. I don't really know. We could also, if we really wanted to, chuck a Rouse on her, because of course most of the time after we bait her, she is not adjacent to any allies. And typically she's not going to get any initial field buffs to start with. Actually, there is no way for her to get any initial field buffs if she's not adjacent to an ally. So Rouse could, tier 4 Rouse could be helpful in that respect.
Please forgive me.
Probably would just do Rouse attack speed 4 or something. Probably just whatever's cheap, I guess. because it doesn't entirely matter. The main one, of course, is attack, because that one scales and goes. The scales up Nina's attack as long as, well, low attack is present for any equivalents. So there's that to worry about. Unfortunately here, of course, Duo Duma is able to immune the Deadeye. So he's not able to kill, but he barely survives thanks to his damage reduction. That is the power of Duo Duma. Speaking of him, super darn annoying in arena assaults on far save, combined with some particular other units because, well, we can't just casually use ranged units to one-rank KO most of the time, especially since you can prevent follow-up attack. That's definitely a problem. Damage reduction, his general bulk also doesn't help. And sometimes he can pack a punch on the counter as well, so there's that issue. And, well, not being able to proc specials against him during combat is definitely an issue in Arena Assault Plus. You just straight up can never proc a special against him unless you prevent his weapon from proccing, which generally is kind of a problem because it's just an HP threshold, so awkward in that respect. We definitely had some problems in Arena Assault Plus this week because of him. Had to do a couple of runs. There's really no counterplay at some point when you keep facing Duo Duma teams, and we're not ready for that for him yet with this particular set of seasons. But I mean, at some point we will figure out something for every season. In the meantime, we'll just have to suffer. Definitely do not like a lot of the arena maps, the newer ones that they've added, just because there's a bunch of things wrong. As you can see here, we did end up fixing our tank, so that tech actually does its job. Because a lot of times, units that are moving 3 spaces do not have more than 65 HP. They can, for sure. Summoner support and whatnot exists.
This is it. Yes. What she
So
said.
spamming out mythics is a thing, so it's not impossible, as you can see by this dual link, to actually have that much. But unfortunately here, for us, well, have the wrong skill sets on our units still, so legendary female violet just ends up swapping, because we have swap on here.
Corin's the coolest.
So, just a free kill. I don't think things really would have changed that much if she didn't have swamp, but I mean, you'd like to hope so. Of course, this defense is still immune. We're just trying it out, seeing how it goes. Kind of surprised people didn't bring more green far save units, because they just spam that blue unit. Of course, we did see some green far save earlier. We all know how that went. But here, of course, you get to see why people have duo syndromes and why we still don't use it. Because it doesn't matter. You really don't need the duos and harmonized duos at all to beat our team. It just makes it more straightforward for people who don't want to think as hard. Unfortunately here, not duo, sell. Just sell. Think about duo and harmonized skills now. So, not able to tank 2 shots from duo point, just enough attack and speed. Nils is gonna get absolutely obliterated, of course. It's not like he's ever gonna do anything combat-wise, like in the old days, where we got random kills with Sylvia and Nils. But here we are with more save units. Of course, big thing to note is, well, unfortunately for us, Mr. Even Pulse Tie here has less HP than Ascend to the Doom, so he just is not unprocking. That's unfortunate for us. We'll see how our opponent fares here. The main thing, of course, is that duochroms or legendary. Have I been saying duochrom this entire time instead of legendary chrom? Probably. I would do something like that. Here our opponent does a lot of rusing, but just panics themselves. I feel like they shouldn't have done that. Just losing stats. But here, legendary female Byleth is going to do basically nothing, of course, against the initial attack, because just up. But because of her null guard shenanigans and being able to actually survive the counter, she can proc Ruptured Sky, and there is no Aegis, so Ascended Tomb just it does take a decent amount of damage, but Aegis once again back up, but again, legendary female pilot with her meme guard or null guard shenanigans prevents it from happening. And while Brammon's got his Luna here, I paused too late, but Ripperoni. I actually forget if Ascended Theme was even running special acceleration skill, but I'm pretty sure she should be if she's not. Otherwise, that kind of defeats the purpose of Party Fighter Aegis. If both sides only attack once, and then Aegis is left not ready to go, that would be moderately awkward for the next unit coming into attack. I actually haven't watched this replay, this was new, so I guess it's not spoilers for what happened in the actual last match. The previous match was the match that I saw that guaranteed our lift loss protection, so that's nice. Let's see what they do here. Looks like they're planning a hit and run off of Legendary Chrom. They duo Chrom again, gosh darn it. Seems about fine. Again, the only thing they have to worry about is the fact they don't have isolation, so there's going to be not moving, Violet moving, probably going to get danced no matter where she goes. So we have to worry about that all situation. Ignis, of course, not going to one-shot Brave Erica, but at least he does a little bit. It doesn't matter though. Extra action for Minion, and they're just gonna run. Seems fine, except again, for exactly what I just said. Just gonna be a simple dance into a kill.
You cannot stop
and
the
of course
flow
she
of
has
time.
to go after the bonus peony, because he's there, by the way.
Sleep.
So, rip to their peony, and rip to their perfect match here. But with that, overall, we honestly did pretty decently on defense. We got super unfortunate on the match timings. These failures all came a little bit before our successes. So this one, same deal. Oops, same deal here. Same deal here. So, or not this one. This one was under lift loss protection, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, unfortunate. But what was really unfortunate was just offense. We definitely could have gotten a personal best this season had we not goofed on offense. Because if we weren't nice on, hypothetically, this wouldn't have happened probably because of how the matchmaker works. But if we won that match we lost, we'd be at 21,460. And then if we weren't being nice to our opponent, we would be at 21,480. Which I'm pretty sure would have been a personal best. And then, yeah, other than that, that's the 30 lift we lost for 21,510, and then that one mistap to sack Ash would have gotten us to max. So, unfortunate we didn't PB this season. We'll get them next time. Trademark. Next season is pretty oof for us because we actually just straight up do not have a viable offense bonus unit, so we're just gonna suffer, probably drop out of vault because that's what happens most of the time. Wrong section. But we've already seen Resonant Battles, don't really need to look at that. Too lazy to find an actual 3-turn full clear. Arena here decided to build up Mail Forward. Turns out we only need to get them to +9, so if we want to change IVs later, we can, which is nice. Pretty sure 3,884 is going to hold. It's slowly dropping, but that's how it always goes. Pretty sure it's not going to drop. If it does, so be it. Not the end of the world. Not sure if we're going to try and stay in Tier 21 next season, because it seems a bit more rough. Here, it's actually kind of suspicious if this is top 1k. I decided to just, once I got this score, I was like, it's fine. We don't make top 1k. RIP 15. Dragon flowers. That's really the only actual loss from this. We have plenty of refining stones. Sacred coins we can never have too many of anyways, so it doesn't matter too much about what we can get. Currently have an okay amount. Definitely not as much as the hoarders, but we definitely do hoard a lot of stuff compared to the average player. So at this point, we'll be back when the results drop in.